Hey guys, Coach Ed Haynes here to talk to you about the performance program. As you know, Andy Bratsanis unfortunately parted ways with Coastal Fitness. As a coach, you'll still see him amongst the ranks training, but I'm going to take over performance program from here onwards. So, firstly to introduce, we are entering an accumulation cycle. Now remember what that means with regards to strength training is we're typically doing a higher volume, higher reps, less sets, trying to build hypertrophy, strength endurance, consistency with regards to limit lifting. Really good work with the testing block last week. Great to see PRs all around on the snatches, clean and jerks, squats, bench pressing. It was just just all around really good stuff. So from there we build. Mondays we're going to do some squat snatch accumulation percentage work. It basically means sub-maximal loads, short rest times. Make sure we're dialing technique there. Next, both performance competitors are going to be doing some box squats in this program. Now, box squatting is not something we've actually done in the past in our group classes, but it's a great way to add some variation to our squatting and make sure we're getting out the posterior chain a little bit more. Next, we're going to do some nasty lactic endurance sets on a Monday. In the last block, you guys were doing lactic power work. Think about it this way, kind of like lactic power being anywhere between 15 to 60 seconds of really hard out fast work. As soon as we get into lactic endurance work, we're thinking about keeping that same kind of turnover rate, but for longer duration. So this is a nasty type of stuff. Long rests, long work. Tuesdays, you guys are going to build on from your push press work and go into some shoulder to overhead density. So we're going to add some push jerking in there. You guys are going to build with some complexes. That's going to have a big technique as well as an endurance focus. You're going to do some upper body strength endurance supersets. So typically a superset is where we couple two exercises done straight after each other, focusing on the same muscle group. So for example, a pull-up and a bent over row would be a superset for our upper body pulling muscles. We're going to do some mixed modal conditioning work on a Tuesday. The handstand push-up work that you guys have been doing in an EMON setting for the last 4 weeks are now going to be placed into a mixed modal conditioning piece. So remember, last 4 weeks been big focus on skill and technique. Now we're putting that technique and testing it under some mixed modal fatigue. Wednesdays, we're going to do some deadlift battery work, moderately heavy work, touch and go, so there's a technical component to it, with minimal rests. We're going to do some aerobic threshold sets. Now, aerobic threshold, what that means is we're going to be working for a set amount of time, and typically your rest is going to be however long you work for. So if you're going to work for 1 minute, you're going to rest for 1 minute. So what I'd like to see in terms of repeatability, which is expressed as time, is essentially we're going to work, for example, the graph showing, we're going to work for a prolonged period of time, rest. Work, rest, work, rest. But every time you work, you should be hitting that same level of output every time without drop off. So how that will typically feel because the rest is incomplete is, for example, that first round might feel like a 70% round, the second round might feel like an 80% round, and the third round feeling like a 90% round. Whilst the time remains the same, the incomplete rest means you've just got to push a bit harder every single time. That's the idea. And then you're going to finish with some upper body accessory work, pushing and pulling. Fridays, you're going to do some clean and front squat complex. We're going to build a fair bit of volume through knee flexion, so squatting movements. You're then going to do split jerk as your B work, and there's going to be a big technical focus on that. We haven't done a whole bunch of split jerking in an isolated sense, so it's time that we get your jerk numbers up to where your clean numbers, because for most of us it's the other way around. And then we're going to do some knee flexion and gymnastic couplets. So for example, when we think about knee flexion, that's things like overhead squatting, front squatting, back squatting, squat cleaning, thrusters, paired with gymnastic movements in a couplet format, so like toes to bar, keeping pull-ups, chest to bars, that kind of stuff. Again, putting a lot of skill and endurance and technique work you worked on the last block into a capacity or testing scenario. Saturday's going to remain as benchmark workouts, potentially team workouts, partner workouts. The idea here with Saturday, guys, for now is fun and unstructured training. I hope you guys are going to enjoy those sessions. The extras, you guys are going to notice that we've set up a YouTube channel, and on the YouTube channel, sorry, we haven't just set up the YouTube channel, but on our YouTube channel we have a new movement and mobility segment. So Hightower, Coach Hightower, Coach Louise and Shingo have been doing some really good stuff in terms of demonstrating the exercises. We're going to be building a huge library of both movement videos, mobility segments, technique videos, potential piece of education in the future. Really important that you guys tune into that. You'll see that if it's a movement or a mobility piece that's focused on improving your squat, it will say squat mobility. If it's something with regards to improving your shoulders or your overhead position, it will be called shoulder mobility. Pretty straightforward. Highly recommend that you guys tune in, explore around, try out the stuff. A lot of it is very minimalistic in the sense that you don't need equipment. If you do have questions with regards to what you should be doing in particular, please come to one of the coaches and we can just point you in the right direction. Thanks guys, and look forward to your work.